Welcome to the Mindset Mirror Connection podcast. In today's episode, we talk about detox schmetox. There's just so much shit out there about detox your liver, drink this tea, blah, blah, blah. We're going to shut it down and actually tell you how your body is brilliant and some of the lifestyle changes you can make to promote that brilliance. So if you're ready, listen up and lean in as we elevate your mind. I'm not doing
Have you ever done a detox?
I have done what people would not consider a detox, which is I've removed inflammatory foods from my diet.
Oh,
but I've never done something like a juice cleanse, a fucking drink detox tea.
Me either.
None of that.
Yeah. I think the furthest I went was I did like the oil pulling for a bit with the coconut oil. And I was like, I don't know why I'm doing this. And then the other one that I would try to do was the apple cider vinegar shot per day. And then I was like, this is disgusting. I don't know why I'm doing this.
Well, and there's some basis in that because I have a client who Coach Liz is working with, and she has acidity issues in her stomach.
Oh, this is the baking soda one, huh?
Yeah. So she was recommended to do the apple cider vinegar to help with her digestion, but they're actually doing a flush over the next couple of weeks because her system is all off. Now, we'll get into that, but it's so interesting to me because this industry and people think, oh, this magic tea, this magic, whatever. If that was the case, then we wouldn't have an obesity crisis, right? Now, some people might say, well, now that's over because of Ozempic, but then we just have a muscle loss crisis and people with osteopenia, osteoporosis, people who are going to fall down, go boom and die because they lack muscle because they haven't done this correctly. And unfortunately, we are always trying to look for the easy way out. So no one's actually teaching them to, how to maintain muscle mass and be healthy on a GLP-1, semaglutide, Wegovy, whatever. But we still to this day, and now it's beyond detoxes. Now it's supplement, like detox supplements. And I have seen women, even through peri and postmenopause, find symptom relief without supplements, without HRT even. So anyway, it's ridiculous. And I don't wish like playing this game over and over again.
Yeah. What's so interesting is I wonder, this is where, again, since I'm such a huge proponent of people hiring a professional, like a trainer, i.e., is how much money they spent on detoxes and teas and whatnot, as opposed to where they would be if they would just hire an appropriate person to help them.
Right. Right. No, and it's true. I mean, people will literally try to do anything to avoid the hard work, I'm looking at Quora right now. What is the best detox fat burning drink before bed to lose 10 pounds in 1 week? And of course, it's like lemon and ginger tea. You're not losing fat. You're not losing fat, my dear. You're losing water or you're just starving. Yeah. Like it baffles my mind. So we're going to talk about some of the dumbass detox colon cleanses, whatever you want to call them, the secret drink recipes, how they're bullshit and what to actually do to help your body to metabolize maybe hormones. Because we can have things like gut health issues, we can have issues with inflammation that affect how our body metabolizes our hormones. If we don't get certain types of minerals, vitamins in our bodies, we have issue getting rid of waste. If we don't have certain lifestyle changes, then yes. But the beautiful thing is most of these things, other than the cost of food, are free. So, but let's talk about what is detoxing. So again, it's the process of ridding the body from toxins, often through dietary change and special regimens. So again, we have waste, right? We have hormones. We have a variety of things that our body wants to rid itself of. and it does that naturally.
Mm-hmm.
But in marketing, we've used detox to be this kind of reset, right?
Yes.
I fucking hate it. People are like, oh, I want to detox after my Disneyland trip. My Cancun trip. Yeah. That would like be me coming back from Cancun and be like, oh, I'm going to go on a detox. Like,
right.
No, my body's already detoxing.
Well, and I think when they say the detox, they're looking like, because maybe they're constipated from different food on a trip, or not even a trip, just like they're sick of being constipated, right? So they're looking to improve their digestion. They're feeling sluggish. They're wanting, like, they're kind of getting sick every couple of weeks. Or they, like we said, to reset the system. But really, when I hear these words, my issue becomes, this is a pattern that you're probably doing already. Like, okay, so for example, you went to Cancun, maybe you overate, maybe you guys had too much alcohol, so now we want to go into a cut. It's that same mentality of making up for the choices that I've been having instead of addressing the decisions that I made during that time. Go ahead.
I want to add to that, though, addressing the decisions and thus the consequences.
Yes. Yeah.
Because if you ate like an a-hole and your system is now slow or sluggish or you're inflamed, you got to deal with that. Like I'm dealing with that. The scale was at 158 this morning and I was like, cool.
Yeah.
And I just drank an element and I detoxed, which was, it was great.
Yeah.
But you're right. Like it's this, people want to use it as a word to like, it's their restriction, but they're using it in this fancy, like, we're going to detox.
Organic,
like, like, no.
Yeah.
If you want to detox, stop drinking alcohol for the week, drink some fucking water and eat some vegetables, like, you know, which we'll talk about. But in this hormone thing, being that, you know, I'm in that era of life, and also this natural path, let's make as much money as we can. That's where the focus is it's all these fucking supplements, the teas, the bottles and bottles of things that are detox, liver detox, this detox, that detox. And all it is money.
Right.
All they're doing is taking your money. And we've had multiple people on to speak of this, and majority of those people say lifestyle, right? Lifestyle changes. But, and again, the problem is that our body already has the ability to cleanse itself. And we need to give it, we can change things lifestyle wise that help promote that more, right? We can make changes to help promote that more because, you know, our organs, like your liver, your kidneys, your colon, like those things need to, you know, be able to do their job. But if we're just constantly putting shit in our body, then, you know, that's not gonna, I shouldn't say it. It will always happen. Your body will always detox itself, but you can definitely feel more slow and sluggish if you're not making the right choices.
Yeah. So. And I think, well, and even you had talked about like the scale weight. So for example, what we see people do is they go on trips or vacations or holidays and they get on the scale. Scale is higher, right? And then they think like, oh, I need a detox and like cleanse my body and then lose this weight that I've built up. And they don't understand the like actual science of it, of you had to consume over 3,500 calories above your maintenance that week in order to gain that weight. And it partially could be due to alcohol, water retention, sleep schedule, more carbohydrates. But so they'll do the detox in hopes of losing the weight. But what they're really doing is essentially just losing water weight. Or like if I'm having less carbs or less inflammatory foods because I'm not eating, like that's going to change your weight without actually losing like fat mass, which is what you're truly looking for. So it's just giving you that short-term fix instead of that long-term fix as well.
Yeah. The other thing that these detoxes, like misconceptions around them, is like they're going to improve your digestion. They're going to improve your hormone regulation. When what we'll talk about is, no, we actually need to look at why your food isn't digesting. Like what is the problem? Like what are the what is the main issue? And 9 out of 10 times, it's going to be that you have some sort of sensitivity to certain foods, especially as we go into the menopause transition, because our gut microbiome actually becomes thinner and it changes. You have microbiome in your face, your gut, and your vagina, and all three of those things change as you go through the perimenopause transition. Gut microbiome is the one that we see the most of, and what used to be an allergy or what used to not be sensitivity or whatever you want to call it, is now something that makes you feel gross and sluggish. And you have that thing on vacation because you're whatever, I'm on vacay mode. Literally, I was with 2 girls this weekend who both have IBS, and they're like, I'm deliberately making this decision to drink alcohol and eat. What was it she couldn't eat? There are a few things she couldn't eat. And she's like, this is where I'm at. Like, and they said that out loud. Like, this is something that I'm doing. And I know that I'm doing it. And the one girl and I talked about it. She goes, and because she's very aware, she goes, then I have really bad body image because my IBS flares up. And I have to remind myself that I made that decision, And so we have to look at, okay, if we're eating the foods, and maybe some of you don't even know that there's foods in your diet that are causing inflammation to your gut and causing things like, slow bowel movements or bloating or diarrhea. And then the other thing is, if I detox and get rid of the sugar because that's the other thing is like, I'm going to detox the sugar from my body. I'm going to again, it's like the cookie, as you say, like when you go to the gym, it's not going after the cookie, you're these detox teas and all the things you're trying to do. Like they're not going after just the sugar, we don't even know what's in them. They are not even regulated. So they might not be doing shit, but, if we're looking at something, say you're like, I want to detox because I have really low energy, then let's figure out why you have low energy than buying like a fucking stupid tea or something like that.
Let's figure out like why you're constipated. Let's figure out why like you have IBS. Let's figure out the trigger foods, because when you take these out with the cleanses and the teas and whatnot, like, okay, you get the reprieve for that time, but then you reintroduce the food or the thing that's irritating you. It didn't really cleanse with your intention. So then like really think about what you're trying to do with that too.
Well, again, they're looking for the easy way out. All of this is looking for the easy way out, right? So we're going to talk about some popular ones, right? So teas, right? Promoting digestion, quote unquote, promoting the ability to like reduce bloat.
Yep.
If I feel bloated, I take a Midol.
If I feel bloated, well, I haven't felt bloated in a while, so I don't know anymore. I think if I feel bloated, I usually like try and see where I'm at with my cycle. And then I'm like, oh yeah, that's why.
Yeah. Or I just drink some water,
Yeah.
But the flat tummy teas, the skinny tea, right? Tea blends. What was the big one? Was it skinny time tea? Yeah. Skinny time tea or something like that. Okay. So here's the thing. Tea, green tea, and some of the ones listed. So teas that have like ginger, turmeric, dandelion root. Yes, actually. You can buy those teas at fucking Walmart.
Right.
And they have anti-inflammatory properties to them. But again, that one tea is not going to make the difference for you if you're eating a food that's causing your gut lining to go haywire.
Right.
Right. So we've got to remove the food. But what these people do is that they say this, they'll charge you a ton. I'm sure these things cost a lot. And you literally can get these green tea, dandelion tea. I personally love a turmeric ginger tea. They do help and support. But again, if that's the only thing you're doing and expecting this huge major result, you are going to feel very silly and feel disappointed, because that is not going to help, right? And so benefits of those particular types of teas that I'm talking about. Now, you guys, I'm talking about just regular tea bags, not tummy time tea or skinny time tea detox. Is, again, they can help reduce some inflammation and bloating. But again, if your lifestyle doesn't change, then you're literally trying to like put lipstick on a pig.
Yeah. So the flat tummy teas are $30 for 4 every 4 weeks. So essentially 30 times.
I get like a whole box like of 60 green tea packets for like $3.99.
When you can expect that you're close to it better, you feel more energized, and you're more regular. Our 2-step detox is a 4-week program. So great.
Interesting.
Yeah. Like, okay. It's just like, and then it's got these girls on there where she lost, as she was on her weight loss journey, she incorporated the flat tummy tea into her daily routine. And it's like, but that doesn't say, that's misleading.
Right.
I don't know. It's just kind of, it's all misleading, right?
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. Cleanses is another one, right? I see this a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like how
Let's see.
you have Goop, Isogenics, and Renew Life as the popular ones. Fasts, master cleanses, juice cleanses, right? Yeah. So fasting for a prolonged period of time, not eating or drinking. And the thing about fasting is that most research on fasting is done on men, not women. Women are not small men. They are women. They reproduce children, and men do not. Fasting and doing it for a prolonged period of time can actually cause your body to become inflamed because it increases your cortisol. As again, especially in midlife, this can cause both gut issues and issues with inflammation. So the master cleanses, though, too, are like that Beyonce drink. What was the Beyonce drink?
I don't know, but I'm looking up Isogenics. They have a cleanse for life. And so a bottle is $52. And they recommend this is designed to make intermittent fasting easier and more effective. Perfect for cleanse days or any day needing a refresh and reset. And so it's a 32 ounces. And so they have a cleanse day like log. So there is one that you take in the morning, take another in the late morning, another in the afternoon, and then another in the evening. And this is in addition to their snack bites and their isoflex. So for one day of just cleansing, you're spending over $100.
And you are not going to lose weight. Yeah. You're doing nothing. I feel bad because I have a client who works for them. But
oh, really?
Yeah. It really is bullshit. It's bullshit. And that word reset and whatever.
Right.
You think in your mind you need a reset, and they're just promoting this. They're literally getting into your psyche and being like, oh, you had a hard week. Let us give you this bullshit powder to reset and cleanse. The other ones like the juicing, right? Like I've seen those little, I'm going to buy all my little juice cups. And I mean, it's going to promote digestion and energy and this reset and, my fruits and vegetables. And it's like, again, guys, you can get this shit from the store.
Yes.
But you're going to pay Sutra or Suka $10,000 to go through this cleanse. Not 10,000, but it's like a lot of money. It's like $300, I think.
Oh my gosh. So I'm sorry. We're investigating as we go.
Yes.
Breaking news.
Investigative reporters.
I looked at, Raw Generation, they have a skinny cleanse that's on sale right now. They can lose 8 pounds in 5 days for $125.
You should never lose 8 pounds in 5 days. If you are, it's absolute bullshit weight.
Yes.
Absolute bullshit.
So
you know this when you get sick. And you fucking, like, my best friend's husband got sick from going to Mexico 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And we were joking, he got to his goal weight by like literally shitting his pants every day.
Well, and here's the thing too, is like when you're taking that much.
He didn't really shit his pants. Just listening.
You're like taking in a bunch because of the way, like your body isn't processing like the banana or the juices that you have in that drink the same way if you actually ate those foods. And honestly, let's talk about that too. Because like with the juicing is how much food and vegetables and fruit you need to create that amount of juice is a fucking shit ton.
Right.
And you don't even eat an apple a day. And now I'm putting all of that, which I'm not saying like getting all of that is bad, but I'm saying why don't we work on the apple a day as opposed to just like shocking my body with all this sugar? Because it is a lot of, just because of the way the body's metabolism, it's just like a sugar rush. And there's no protein or anything to kind of help stabilize your blood sugar levels. And now we're going to crash. Okay, well, good. Just in time, you have your mid-afternoon drink that you should be having. It's wild.
I've not met many people who even complete those things. Number one.
They don't, because they get hungry and then they binge and then they go, yeah, I just like couldn't do it. And then they're
too hard for me.
For binging.
Right. And wasting money. Like, and if you do it, you're like, yeah, I did it. And then I gained all the way back. Right. So it is, I want to add this too, because again, just going back to the hormone thing, like that's a big thing now. And the problem with it is that like naturopath, like doctors, and I know someone who is a naturopath. She's one of my best friends. She said, yes, they have these supplement companies that they all kind of work with. Oh. And the supplement companies have these, not even joking, 8 to 10 type of supplement protocols to detox and metabolize your hormones and to help with visceral fat and belly fat and this and that. And it's the same company giving these fucking packages to these naturopaths. The way the naturopaths get a cut, kind of like the doctors do in pharmaceuticals, and they're just doing that on you.
Hang on, here's this too, because I can compare
breaking.
I know. Sorry, interrupt you again for this highlight. Raw Generation. So they had to compare cleanses, and I'm like, click. So per cleanse day,
your Instagram's gonna be fucked after this.
So per cleanse day on their skinny cleanse, the total calories. So this is why you lost 8 pounds in 5 days. Is 860. On a protein cleanse, it's 1,500. On a low sugar detox cleanse, it's 1,030. Now, your protein for the total day is either 19, 38, or 47 grams. Your sugar for that day is 154 grams, 127 grams, or 74 grams. Your fiber is either 90, 24, or 23.
90 grams of fiber in one day?
9 grams.
Oh, 90. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, I was like, no wonder. Isn't that? So then,
that's so ass backwards.
Well, and here's the goal for your skinny cleanse is healthy weight loss fast. I'm like, well, that's not, those are like antonyms, but okay. And then on the goal for your protein cleanse is maintain energy and stamina while working out. Okay. And then your lower sugar detox cleanse, your goal is lower sugar option for healthy weight loss and increasing protein. What?
Should say unhealthy water loss.
Yeah. Also, yeah. And then you're going to, what's so funny? I wish I had somebody to do this, but I wouldn't wish this on anybody. For somebody to do the skinny cleanse for their like 5 days that they're supposed to do it or whatever. And then like weigh themselves. And then the next week, just go back to eating how they would and see what happens with their weight.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
So you'll be right back. So just to let you guys know, again, I'm just going to go over this. Like our body naturally has organs that detoxify us, right? So your kidneys remove toxins through your urine, your liver filters toxins for excretion, your intestines eliminate waste, your lungs expel carbon dioxide and other gases, and your skin releases toxins through sweat. However, a lot of these teas promote like gut health, bloating, digestive health. None of this matter. I mean, your body's still going to do this process, but if there's a food that's causing your gut microbiome to be inflamed because you're sensitive to it or have a small allergy or whatever that is, then we have to eliminate that from the diet before we're going to do any of the other steps that we're going to talk about here. I just did a food sensitivity test, and my sensitivities were peanuts and almonds. Sad day. Now, the interesting thing is that Coach Liz looked at it and said, well, you also ate a lot of peanuts and almonds that week. And I was like, I know. And then she goes, you actually ate all the things that are in this test that week. So jury's still out if the test is accurate or not. But she said, because it was on the higher end of sensitivity to try to pull it for my diet. Now, interesting thing, I was on the plane yesterday and we had first class seats, and they give you like that nut mix, that warm nuts. And I forgot. and I started eating the almonds. And Amanda said this on an episode. She goes, if your mouth starts itching and you don't pay attention to it, and you pay attention to it, you can look back and be like, oh yeah, my mouth started itching last week. My mouth started itching eating the almonds. So now I'm like, oh, maybe I do have a sensitivity to these almonds, right? And if I remove them from my diet, will I have less bloating? Will I have will I have better bowel movement? So how do you guys do that? You asked me a question earlier. Have I ever done a cleanse? We have a meal guide that removes inflammatory foods from their client's diet. They're still getting adequate food in depending on their goal, meaning if they are in a weight loss phase, they're still getting adequate calories in, even in a weight loss phase. They're at maintenance. We still do it this way. We're basically eliminating your dairy, your gluten, and if that's someone who we don't know what their specific issues are. Plus, I have came upon a gut health tracker for this episode to just like ask yourself questions. There's a wonderful app called Cara Cares. I've talked about it here. That is kind of like a MyFitnessPal, and you can put in what you ate that day. I'll ask you your bowel movements that day. Did you have diarrhea, bloating? How was your sleep? How was your this? And at the end of like a couple weeks, you get data back that says, hey, anytime you eat X, you feel like shit or you are bloated. So we can use data as well. But to go back to the meal guide that we do, it's kind of just removing anything that's inflammatory if we don't know what the problem is, and then slowly reintroducing it after a 3-week period. But you're still eating 3 meals a day. You're still eating snacks, right?
Well, and when you say reintroducing too, it's not like, say we take out gluten and dairy, you're not reintroducing gluten and dairy on that same day either.
And I'm not introducing it all at once.
Yes.
Like
so
each one all at once.
It's a process, which is contrary to what these teas and cleanses are doing. They're not a process. It's like you're saying, it's the quick fix. It's a quick solution for short-term outcomes, which is great if that's what you're looking for. But most people are not looking for that. They're looking for a long-term fix to whatever's ailing.
Right. Well, and say that my issue is peanuts and almonds, and the next girl that has bloating and is trying to figure that out, her issue is egg whites. So that's a totally different situation.
Right.
A detox tea is not going to know that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's just there. And if we can remove the food that's causing us the issue, you're in a great spot. You're going to be in a great spot. You're going to see changes. Then you can add in foods as long as they're not that thing that makes you sensitive to help support a little bit more of detoxification, right? So do you want to add anything to that?
No. Because like for me, for my own like trial and error too, is I found out like almonds upset me, and I would have them a lot, like because they were paleo. And so, and especially in grad school, like instead of eating, I would have almonds, which made a lot of sense. So I would have almonds, and then my stomach would become upset, and then I'd be like, okay, what's going on? And so I finally put 2 and 2 together. That's probably the almonds. And then, so I stopped having them. And then I like matcha lattes, and I like them with like oat milk or coconut milk or something like that. So I got it with almond milk one time. And again, same thing happened, and that confirmed it for me. So again, like I didn't need a detox tea to fix that. It was just paying attention to my body and how it reacts. And then taking like note over time if I reintroduced it.
Right. No, it's funny because I've talked about my obsession with peanuts, and I told Jenny once, I said, hey, it's funny because I've been getting these headaches, but it's always around when I eat these peanuts. And then I found out it was peanuts. But yeah, how about instead of wasting your money on these stupid, detox whatevers, we actually have a relationship with our body, and we listen to it, and we pay attention to it and take note of it, right? You will pay more attention to people like what's going on social media and how many likes or follows you have than how a food affects your body.
Right.
Like let's take a little bit of that energy and put it towards, okay, how do I feel after I eat blank? And you probably eat around the same like types of foods. So if you don't eat the same types of foods, obviously this is going to be harder. But if you do, and then you go to the Indian food restaurant and you have the curry, and that's when my stomach's, you're going to have a little bit more, you're going to know better. Like, okay, so curry is what's affecting my belly, and you'll be able to avoid it. It's just hard when you don't eat the same types of foods each day, but being able to sit down and take account of it, write it down, and give yourself, even if it's just like 1 to 10 on how you feel. Anything, say that 10 is good and 1 is bad, right? Then anything under a 5 or 4, I'm looking at that day and seeing where the similarities are. So that's what I would do there. Then lifestyle wise, I need to look at, okay, am I eating foods that help promote detoxification, if you will? Now, again, these are all just foods that are going to promote, they're anti-inflammatory for the most part. Fiber being the biggest one, right? Fiber is going to help us with being able to bind to toxins and excrete them, right? Fiber is one of the most underlooked supplements that we can get 1,000 straight from our food.
How many grams of fiber do you like your clients to have per day?
25 to 30 grams, right? Another thing that fiber does is it can bind to excess hormones in your digestive tract, right? Which we don't want to remetabolize. It'll help to excrete them through your bowel movements as well. It just supports gut health in being able to get into that healthy gut. Cut that, Ira. Fiber helps to. I'm having a day. Fiber helps in maintaining your healthy gut microbiome, which is what we want, right? And so that in itself is going to create an environment then too, where all these other foods will be able to do their job a little bit easier. And then of course it helps to promote your bowel movements, which who doesn't like a good bowel movement, Yeah. I love a good bowel movement.
Well, and that's one thing I think you talked about the gut a little bit here and there. And then right now is because there's like prebiotics and probiotics too that people will take. And sometimes the problem isn't the probiotic portion of your gut, it's the pre. And so if you don't know like where the issue is coming from, or 2, what the issue actually is, and then you're doing these teas and detoxes and whatnot, you could actually be making that issue worse. Because sometimes what you'll see is people who will go on these fasts or these cleanses and these teas, because of the lack of food, it gives that bacteria more opportunity to grow even more. And so that's something to be aware of too, of like, okay, if we are persistently bloated, why is that? Is it a particular food, or is there something going on with our gut bacteria? But you don't want to, there is a balance system in there as well. So again, if we're persistently sick, that could be due to your gut, maybe not like a viral infection. And so these teas and cleanses and detoxes don't change that. So like one of the reasons that we stated that people would do detoxes, teas, and all this smorgasbord is because they wanted to feel better and like have more energy and whatnot. And say you are eating enough, say you are mostly having whole foods, like that would be a reason to investigate what's going on in your gut, as opposed to taking one of these random supplements from the internet or from your favorite celebrity. And when has anything from your favorite celebrity really turned out that great?
I do like my JLo beauty, and I like my Gwen Stefani lip gloss. Thank you.
So I'm going to say JLo and Gwen Stefani, and I'll say Paris Hilton back in like 2009 when she came out with that perfume that was supposed to attract people to you. But so that's what I think what we're getting at too in summary is we have to find the root cause. We have to look at our overall health, and they are quick fixes, and you have probably
they don't fix shit.
Yes, you have probably been doing the quick fix time and time again, and you keep ending up frustrated in the same spot. So we can either change what we do, or you can keep doing it and maybe need to come to terms with accepting that reality.
Agreed. So what are some things you can actually add to your diet? How about we leave the peeps with some things?
Color.
Colors.
I'm always, where's the color?
Yes.
Yeah.
We already talked about fiber. So fiber rich foods, what is your favorite fiber rich food, would you say?
Black beans. I have those a lot right now.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love some sweet potato, avocado,
yeah.
blueberries, strawberries, oats, right?
Yep.
As we talked about, 25 grams of fiber per day, 25 to 30 grams, especially if you are over the age of 40 as your gut microbiome changes. Colors. Cruciferous vegetables, leafy greens, citrus is really great in helping with turning converting toxins into like water soluble, so they're like easier to get out of your body. Turmeric, ginger, green tea, as we talked about, garlic is a great way to support and activate liver enzymes. And
bone broth is a great way to support your gut health too.
Oh yeah,
that's
I don't ever do bone broth. Even protein, right? Protein, amino acids help to detoxify your liver. Like this is my issue: is when did these foods become the fucking problem? Like people would rather literally take the tea and then be like, oh no, people who eat high protein or diet culture. What? Like when did these foods become the issue? When did these become diet foods? Anyway, sorry. I'm pissed. Just kidding. And stay hydrated.
Yeah.
There's this thing called water. It can be very helpful. We can add some sea salt or pink Himalayan sea salt to our water. That's helpful. I personally drink an LMNT in my water every morning. And it's just the way I start my day. And it helps me get electrolytes in, magnesium, potassium, and sodium to be exact. And once you get a little sweat in, remember, your skin detoxifies through sweat. So I love a good sauna moment. Now we can talk about that because I've been reading up on my, the sauna work, dry brushing. In this book I'm reading, they even talk about like coffee enemas, things like that. Now I bought a sauna because someone gave it to me for like $400. So it was a good deal. But do you need to do all that? No, take an Epsom salt bath. Like,
right. I would say like
take it a step further.
The sauna, the dry brushing, the coffee enema, those are like what we would consider little rocks. Because if you're doing all of that, but your diet is still heavily processed, or it's, cut, restrict, binge, overeat, alcohol.
Or you're still eating the food that causes it to.
Yeah, we're not solving it with those things. I mean, those are great. Like, I never want to have somebody refrain from doing those things, but I do want them to have the bigger picture nailed down beforehand. Because, for example, if maybe you move and you don't have a sauna at the new gym that you go to anymore, then what does that tell your mentality if you use it for detoxing every 2 days after you've had the bottle of wine, right?
Right.
So there's a lot more that goes into it. And again, our thing is focus on the basics, then let's build from there.
No, and that's a big point because even myself as someone, I read a lot, I research, I listen to a lot of podcasts, especially for women in midlife. And there are doctors out there, actual doctors, researchers, that they're so conflicting. But really at the end of the day, if we can take care of our gut health, take care of what's causing inflammation in our body, take care of what's causing stress in our body, and doing that naturally, we're going to be okay. We may not have the sauna. We may not be able to cold plunge. We may not choose the HIIT exercise versus the strength training. We may just do what we like. At the end of the day, you're going to be okay because you are putting into your body the foods that your body wants. You're focusing on the quality of your food. Again, what I mean by this is if you know how to do that, right? If I know how to manage my gut health, if I know how to manage my cortisol, if I know how to manage the inflammation in my body. And if you don't, there are programs like ours where we have gut health specialists. We have hormone specialists. I myself have gone through multiple menopause courses to help women, and even reading up on things from the North American Menopause Society. And you do a lot of this for postpartum and pregnancy as well, right? I can imagine there are and now pregnancy is a little bit more regulated, but I'm sure there's still shit like this in the pregnancy field of like, What are they? I've actually never seen them, but
I don't even know. Well, a lot of times it's try and restrict food to not gain the weight. But I think, or it's a lot of times of like, fuck it, I'm going to gain the weight anyways, is what's happening.
We're like detox.
Yeah. I don't know. There's not that. It's more in the postpartum period that you see it.
Yeah.
Like, because the pregnancy period is so, I'll say like, fragile is the wrong word, but people really don't want to
try any voodoo
stuff. But the postpartum period is where the voodoo comes out.
So that's a really interesting point. Like, that your bullshit that you would try without being pregnant is not good for your baby.
Right.
So why the fuck would you do it to yourself?
Right.
So that's so smart.
I know.
Yeah. Anyways. Water, sleep, everything we already talked about. So at the end of the day, and we're sorry if we offend you, that the powder, the shit that you're taking. I personally do take my greens just because I think it helps me poop.
Yeah.
It may not. It may be a placebo effect. I might just be drinking another glass of water. But if you're not dealing with the big rocks, the reason why your gut is inflamed, the reason why you are inflamed, whatever it is, your behaviors, right? Behavioral of I'm going to go to vacation and reset on Monday. That's not how your body fucking works. There is no reset button. Your body remembers what you do to it. Mm-hmm. So why don't we start giving it a more consistent message by treating it right, eating the foods that serve us, not eating the foods that don't serve us. And again, that might even be something that's considered a healthy food, and moving it in a way that's healthy, hydrating it, resting it. You can do that. That's an adequate message where the body will eventually respond to you. But this other yo-yo, detox, teas, reset, all of that is just creating an environment of chaos.
And a mindset of binge restrict in just another form. Yeah.
It's just in a fancy box that costs $59 for one day.
No, $100 for the day.
Stupid.
That's so. And again, I hate to do this all the time, but like when we look at the cost of our program per month, like just take that week of your teas and apply it to that, and I promise you will get so much more for like within 4 months that you would within the 4 weeks that you do that.
Yep. Like, stupid. Okay. Yeah. Anyway. Well, hopefully we've talked you out of any stupid purchases, especially during this holiday season. You're going to see all of this increase, especially when you go into January 1st. So we're just giving you a warning ahead of time. I guarantee if you started to do this now into the new year, you're going to feel fabulous January 1st and not even need to go. Well, hopefully you don't do any stupid resolutions, but you're going to start feeling amazing. And for my midlife women, these are huge, small changes for huge impact. Mm-hmm. But again, if you need coaching around this is exactly what we do. We have, again, specialists in this area and specialists in their own right. So specialists with nutrition and PCOS, specialists who are hormone specialists, myself who's focused on menopause and perimenopause, pre and postnatal specialists. So we are here for you and all female things, whether it is this or something else. We definitely want to, just help you be the best version of yourself inside out. So if you're interested in coaching with us, please check out the show notes below. Please follow us on our socials. Our team is at Mindset of Matter Coaching on Instagram. Amanda is at fitbyamanda.az. Please subscribe to our channel on YouTube at The Mindset of Matter, where you can see our pretty faces. Yay! Also, if you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts, we'd love for you to rate and review. Same on Spotify. But other than that, we want you to walk away with just one more message, and that message is this.
What you say in the mind,
you see in the mirror. Goodbye.
Bye.